Mike, over to you.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you all for the opportunity to share this with you. I'm pretty much just a regular guy. Um, I later in life, in my 50s, I started writing books, um, and I haven't really stopped. I don't know when I've written them because I have kids in sports and a job that I'm very passionate about with the Ottawa Public Library, and so many things going on. And yet somehow I found the time to not watch a lot of television, I guess, and to write books. So I've mostly written nonfiction, or sorry, fiction, but The Performing Man is a work of fiction, and I have a small presentation about it. I think it's a dialogue that a lot of people, not just men, but providers, um, keep inside, and I'd like to share that with you. So let me just set up the
Wait,
presentation.
wait, wait, wait a minute. I thought we were going to do a book reading for this one because we did the
Oh,
presentation. Yeah.
oh,
So, yeah.
sorry, I'm kind of new at this. As I
All
said,
right. If you want to do the presentation, go right ahead. Yep.
no, I'm
Now,
sure.
let me
Well,
not take away your thunder. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I can do the presentation. The problem is if I read some of my fiction, I get really emotional
Okay.
because it's all very personal, and you guys don't.
Okay. All right. All right. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me just share my screen and we'll go from there. Okay, here we go. And I will set up let me just set oops, where am I? Here we go. Okay, so the Perform Man. The book is called The Perform Man When Financial Responsibility Becomes Identity. And I like to sort of frame it as a discussion. So, who am I? Mentioned a little bit. I'm an award-winning author, partner, father, working man, really a lifelong observer of people and the stories they tell. I've always kind of been a misfit, a bit of an outsider, um, never really quite fit into anything. So I always fancied myself a bit of an observer. So my five books span literary fiction, speculative fiction, short stories, poetry, and nonfiction. But the common thread through all my work is that I've explored the challenges of identity, responsibility, and as humans, our search for meaning. So the Perform Man, as I said, is my first nonfiction work, and it emerged from my observations of how easily self-worth can become tied to performance, provision, and the pressures of modern life. So why is this conversation? Why does this conversation matter? Well, have you ever felt your value rises and falls with your income? You're responsible for everyone else's stability. Like you can't show uncertainty. Like you must hold everything together. You know, this conversation began many years ago as I watched my father, God rest, myself, and many others struggle with the pressures many providers carry in silence. So that's basically how the book came about. It started as a journal, and all of a sudden it became another book. So, the hidden equation. Many of us unconsciously learn that performance equals worth, that income equals worth, that provision equals worth. And over time, identity equals responsibility. And this is kind of where the problem begins because the problem isn't about hiding our strength or avoiding our responsibility. It's about getting lost in how we see our own worth while losing sight of who we are and who we're providing for. So in my book, I call this the fracture. We are needed, we are relied upon, but when providing feels unstable, our self, our sense of self-worth becomes unstable too. So the provider trap. So the three silent rules of the trap: solve your own problems, protect others from your worries, keep moving no matter what. These are useful until they become permanent. And in chapter 3 of the Perform Man, I talk about the provider trap It's when providing stops being what we do and becomes who we are. So when identity becomes singular, it becomes fragile. So in chapter 6 of my book, I discuss how over time we develop an armor, and that armor suppresses emotion. And so that suppression, which really is silence, um, is what we're talking about here. So what does that silence look like? Irritability, withdrawal, exhaustion, resentment, emotional distance, impatience. The problem isn't the pressure, really. It's the problem is that we carry it alone. So the armor we build, we become competent, reliable, productive, but sometimes we become less connected, less expressive, less present, especially with the people that we love and the people that rely on us. So what are we really protecting ourselves from? The armor may be perceived as aggression as well, but really it's insulation. Are we protecting ourselves from possible embarrassment, exposure, dependency? These are things that I try to address in the book. So then we look at rethinking strength. Our strength is important. Our strength is endurance, but our strength is more than that. It's endurance, it's awareness, it's communication, it's adaptability, and most importantly, with our loved ones, it's connection. In chapter 9 of The Performed Man, I talk about my belief that real strength is not the absence of vulnerability, it's the ability to remain steady while allowing some emotional rage. So, the turning point, what's a turning point? What if responsibility is something we carry, not something we are? In chapter 13 of my book, I talk about not abandoning responsibility. Responsibility is purpose. It's what drives us. It's what makes us want to provide for our loved ones. But responsibility no longer needs to be fused with self-worth. And strength does not need to mean isolation. So in many of the chapters in my book, at the end I have a moment for pause. I have I have reflection questions. And so today, let's ask ourselves, what pressure are we carrying? What part of our identity exists beyond that pressure? And what conversations have we been avoiding because of it? So moving forward, I don't offer instant solutions. I just offer a mind shift because responsibility matters, work matters, provision matters, but we matter too. And so our lives are larger than the pressures within them. And I'd just like to add that the pressures in our lives may not disappear. Uncertainty will always be there, but we're no longer going to approach them in the same way. We understand that financial stress is not a judgment of our self worth. And most importantly, change does not require a dramatic transformation. So just want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. My books are available on Amazon. You can contact me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Substack, or just email me. I'm always happy to talk about this topic. And some of my other books are pretty cool too. So I just wanted to throw that in. Thanks so much for your time. I can sing and dance if you'd like that. I could
Thank
do
you so
that.
much. That was awesome. Does anyone have any questions? All right, because we're going to have a lot of people at 7, so I'm not trying to rush everyone, but thank you for watching Discover Brightside. And if you have a comment, tell us what you think about The Performed Man. Thank you for watching.